Hey everybody, it's Dana. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today I'm back to make a quick card because I'm participating in the 30-day challenge over at the Daily Marker. Alright, so I'm going to use this stencil here by Penny Black. I love the lines of this, and I'm also going to use some Spectrum Noir Aqua markers. Some Distress ink is actually what I'm going to use to get the outline of my stencil. I'm going to use a water brush and a clear acrylic blush and some watercolor paper. Alright, I never ended up buying this stamp, the matching stamp to this stencil. For some reason I thought I had it, but then when I went looking for it and I didn't see it in my stamp room, I checked my Evernote account and I guess I obviously never picked it up. So this is actually great though, because now I can use my stencil to be my outline and my guide to color in my flower. So I'm going to use some low-tack masking tape, and I'm just going to line my stencil up. So one, my paper doesn't shift, and two, my stencil doesn't shift. This is a really cool design, or a way to actually get a little bit more out of your stencils. Sometimes, you know, we use them just for stencils. This time I want to use them as a template to color. All right, so I'm just going to put down my last piece of tape. All right, we're good to go. Now, this is going to leave like a light watermark, and it's going to be the outline of this gorgeous flower. And that gives me an easy guideline to follow when I start putting down my color. So I'm not going to be too heavy-handed on this because I actually don't want the pink to show through when I end up putting down my aqua markers. I just wanted to leave a faint little watermark for me to follow. And this distress ink I'm using here is the Sponge Sugar. It leaves just a really pretty light color left behind. You can also do this when you want to do the no line coloring. So I guess I can say that this is like no line stencil template coloring. How's that sound? A little bit complicated, right? But yeah, that's too long. So we're just gonna do stencil template. I think that sounds a lot better. All right, we are done. I can go ahead and put that away. Then I'm gonna lift up my stencil very carefully so I don't rip my paper. All right, and as you can see, I have like the outline. So that's good. That's what I want. What I'm going to do is take the tape back off, and I'm going to reuse that so I can keep my water paper in place. And you know, sometimes when you watercolor, you get the paper starts to what do I want to say, buckle. So this way it'll lay flat. I'm going to go ahead and grab my markers. I'm going to speed this up and you guys can listen to some music. Alrighty, so now I need to go ahead and put a sentiment. I'm going to use this set here by My Favorite Things. It's called True Friend. I just picked this up about a week or two ago and I haven't actually filed it away. So it's close and handy next to me. Just trying to figure out which one of these beautiful handwritten sentiments I want to use. So I think I'll go ahead and use the one that says you're like, oops, let me make sure let me take this off first. Let me take the tape off. So I know when I lay down my sentiment, I'm going to have it straight because that tape is going to be in the way. Alrighty, now I can lay it down. And this sentiment says, you're like a sister to me. And I know exactly who I'm going to be sending this pretty card to. So I'm going to just line it up. I think that's a good area right there. Now I'm going to need some ink. So let's see. I think I'll go ahead and grab my Simon Says stamp Fog. I'm going to see how that's going to look. Since I went ahead and put a little bit of gray watercolor around the flower, I think that gray on gray would be really, really pretty. But first I'm going to stamp it off to make sure that is the color I want. Let me try that one more time because this is a new stamp. I need to make sure I'm going to get full coverage with this. Let me grab one other color. I'm going to grab the Simon Says stamp, and this one is called Slate. I'm going to try this one and see if this one looks better. Oh, and the color's not slate, it's smoke. Let me test that out. I think we're getting there. I think I actually like that better. But you know what? I'm just going to mix the colors together. What the hey? I'll create a new color. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there and then just once in the smoke. And let's see. I think that's going to look gorgeous. Pretty unique color combination, if I say so myself. Alrighty, and that is how the card turned out. I super duper love it. Now I need to just put this on. This is some gray basil cardstock. I really want the image and this beautiful stencil template watercolor flower to be my main focal point. So I'm just going to grab my cutter because I actually want to have just a tad bit of a border around my flower with that slight gray tonal basil paper. So I'm just going to cut down like 1/8 of an inch or so on two sides of the card. And then this way would give me that border I was just talking about. So as you can see, using a stencil to watercolor is great and it works pretty darn fine. Alrighty, see, I got that little bit of border. But now, since this is watercolor paper and it buckled a little bit, I'm going to grab some white foam and I'm just going to cut a panel out that matches the side of my cardstock. So that will be like one super layer and there's no dents and bumps and stuff when I go ahead to put it on my card. So I'm just going to grab my X-Acto knife, kind of measuring just a little bit from the edge of the panel and cut down. And this foam is super easy to use. I picked it up at I think it was Hobby Lobby, and it came by like a large sheet and I just cut it down to more manageable squares. But it's great because it makes your panel all even all the way around. Alright, let me just clear up the space. I'm going to grab some adhesive so I can put the foam onto the back of my panel. Let me see. Let me just grab my ATG. I think that's going to be the best. I did have a Xyron runner, but I ran out of tape, so I'm just going to grab my ATG gun. It's going to work the same for me. I'm just going to have to put down a couple more lines of adhesive so I know it gets really stuck down to that foam. And what's so great about this foam, it comes in multiple colors. So let's say, for instance, you had a black panel and you didn't want the white to show, then you just cut down a piece of black foam. It works. Alrighty. Now I'm going to put some adhesive on the back, and I like it because everything's even. So let me go ahead and grab my gun again. And this is when I'm beginning to realize I forgot to add more adhesive to my gun. So let me just go ahead and grab one of my smaller adhesive tape runners. Yep, that's always happens. It always happens on camera. Just when you think you're ready to go, and then boom, you run out of adhesive. Why? Why? It's just the devil, that's all. But it's not stopping us. We're going to go ahead and complete this card. Let me go ahead and eyeball that. So I have just a little touch of that gray all the way around. Now, I can't finish there. I need a couple of pieces of bling. So I'm just going to grab my my pretty sequins. And this sequence I got from Cartwright. And it's, I mean, I can't tell you how much the sequence was. It was so inexpensive, and I got a ton that I actually gave some of this away. All right, I think I'm going to use the pink, and I'm just going to line a few of these. I like to do things in 3 because it kind of makes your eye move around your project instead of just landing in one spot. So I'm going to burp my glossy accents, make sure I don't get like a big burst of a bubble of glossy accents on my card. It will ruin it and I will be too upset. Alright, so I'm just going to place that one down. And like I said, when you use 3 things scattered across your card, it actually makes your eye continue to travel, which is a good thing. Sometimes you do want a landing point for your eye to look at, and the biggest part obviously is the flower, but then the sparkle keeps your eye traveling around the card. Alright, and that is going to do it. That is going to wrap up this beautiful card. Alrighty, day 3 is done. I got my coloring in. I'm so glad you guys hung out with me today. I will see you guys soon. Go forth and be crafty. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you liked what you saw today, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss a thing. Go forth and be crafty.